I never touched a VGC format until the year 2020. I'd known about VGC for a long time before that, but unfortunately I didn't think that it was something I was interested in. Big mistake there. And it wasn't until the pandemic and I was passing time watching Wolf Glick that I finally started dabbling. I didn't go to an event until 2023, but 2020 is the earliest that I was playing VGC in any sense at all. That means that I missed out on a lot of VGC history. And sometimes, I want to look back at formats that I didn't get to experience and playstyles that are kind of alien to me and connect with the game's past in that way. And so we're reaching back about a decade now to one of the VGC compositions that I think pretty much every player has heard of, even if we weren't around for it, and that is Chalk. Kind of an unusual name for a team, but of course Chalk is an acronym for the 5 core Pokemon on that team, which are Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss, Landorus, and Kangaskhan. A very flexible core back in VGC 2015 or so, able to be built out in a lot of different ways with a lot of bulky and hard-hitting Pokemon with a variety of strong stats. So I don't necessarily know exactly how those teams played, but you can kind of see the synergies and just the fact that they're strong Pokemon as you go through the list. And looking into what people typically ran in the 6th slot, it looked like Incarnate Form Thundurus was a pretty common partner. So that's what I'm going to go with here. We're going to go ahead and give Chalk a try in Regulation G and see if it still holds up. That's the premise here. Oh, I didn't know Showdown had that rule. Well, there goes my bet. That is an official rule at tournaments, by the way. Don't take a Pokemon that is named for a different Pokemon to an official tournament. That there is a rule against it. That's unfortunate. I was just going to use that nickname for the whole video and not draw any attention to it, but oh well. Would have been a nice bet. Okay, Chalk. Let's do it. Okay, how am I going to play into this Groudon team? So I like Cresselia here. Well, it kind of folds to Fluttermane and Chi-Yu, unfortunately. It is Terra Dark Cresselia, so it'll still be weak to the Fairy coverage out of this team. Honestly, Heatran is strong into most of this team, with the obvious exception of Groudon itself, but I still like it getting boosted by the sun. Let's lead Heatran, Landorus, and let's be ready to click the Terra Fairy on Heatran anytime. And we'll bring Cresselia, and I think we bring Kangaskhan, but maybe I'll regret not having Thundurus in this one. Okay. So, I never actually went over the team. I also don't think I remembered to put an item on Heatran. Let's go ahead and fix that. We'll go with Charcoal. I don't really want to wear it down with Life Orb damage. Okay. I'll have an item next game. I think I'm down to just go straight for a Heat Wave and Rock Slide. I don't think Chi-Yu is knocking anything out immediately. No, not with that Assault Vest on the Landorus. Unfortunately, it does get a Dark Pulse flinch, and I missed my Heat Wave into Chi-Yu. So I knock out Whimsicott, but Chi-Yu takes no damage at all. It didn't take any Life Orb damage either, so it's probably Choice Locked into Dark Pulse. I can switch to Kangaskhan if I want. That does risk taking a Fairy-type attack from Fluttermane. I'm going to go for a Flash Cannon into Fluttermane. And I can let Landorus go down here, or I can switch to Cresselia and potentially sack that. But Cresselia is strong into any of possible Pokemon in the back, so I think sacking Landorus is actually better here. That does a lot of damage to Heatran. Do they double into it? They do. Okay. I could have landed a good Earthquake there instead of that Rock Slide. It's a little unfortunate for me. But I will get Kangaskhan in here. And actually, it's not the end of the world. I can Terra Fire. It means I don't take Chi-Yu's attack as well anymore. But I think Chi-Yu probably attacks Landorus this turn. Let's Terra Fire and go for a Flame Charge into Fluttermane, and then I can protect around the last turn of their Tailwind next turn, right? Do I have Protect on Cresselia? I do, okay. I'll just go for another Rock Slide, but I don't think they'll let me have it. They just clean knockout Kangaskhan with Shadow Ball. Okay. Well, this is what they call power creep, right? The team just doesn't quite hold up into this duo of Fluttermane and Chi-Yu under Tailwind. But we'll get another game. Maybe we'll win this one. But yeah, you can start to see why Chalk has kind of faded. I mean, it's like a decade-old archetype at this point. You can see why it's kind of lost relevance before now. I think Heatran might be able to make some noise in this game. Gastrodon is kind of the biggest obstacle. I don't really have much for Gastrodon, do I? Let's try Heatran Amoonguss lead. I can at least threaten a Spore into Gastrodon. And then I'll bring Kangaskhan for sure. And I don't know. Cresselia. Try to keep Heatran healthy if I can. Okay, they lead Incineroar and Farigiraf. They can get Trick Room up if they want. Because Amoonguss... They can fake out Amoonguss and deny a Spore into Farigiraf. But I do think I'll still try that. And I'll go for a Flash Cannon into Farigiraf as well and get what damage I can into it. They could fake out Heatran. Helping Hand into Incineroar. What are they doing? Oh, just going right for the Flare Blitz into Amoonguss. Okay, they do knock it out, but Farigiraf took a lot of damage in a special defense drop. It can't safely set Trick Room now. Maybe that's not what they want. But I can get Kangaskhan in here. And I think I can get my Flame Charge into this Farigiraf. Have that little bit of an edge against the Fluttermane if they bring that in next. It doesn't KO. They still can't get their Trick Room if they are going for that. And they are. Okay. 6% more damage and it would have been fine. I'll go Heat Wave with Heatran. And I'm actually just going to switch out to Cresselia. And again, Cresselia can hopefully sit on the field and try to keep Heatran healthy. But I should get... Oh, that's not good. That's a bit of a problem for my plan, but I should get 2 KOs here. And I do. There's the Fluttermane, and now they've set Trick Room up, but I do have to watch out for this Ice Rider Calyrex. I probably should Terra Fairy here just to cover for high horsepower. So let's do that. Heat Wave, and I'll just click Lunar Blessing, try to keep Heatran as healthy as I can. It's Terra Fire Calyrex. Not great for me. Celia does survive this turn. I'm going to go for an Earth Power into Calyrex. No. Actually, I think it might be a higher priority to knock Fluttermane out, because then Trick Room will end pretty soon, and I should be able to beat Calyrex with Kangaskhan in the back. Okay, Flash Cannon into Fluttermane. Protect Cresselia. Take the Glacial Lance. Knock out Fluttermane. And here I'll protect Heatran. I'll click Lunar Blessing. Cresselia will probably get knocked out. But I think that's okay, because now the Trick Room is over. And I can get the Sun back up. Not that it benefits Heatran, because I'm going to go for Earth Power here into Calyrex and Collision Course. Alright, we got Chalk into the win column. Nice. Kyogre team with our Chaladon, okay. So, I mean, we can fight over weather. Thundurus is a little tricky in this one. I mean, I'm thinking about Thundurus because obviously it's pretty strong into Kyogre with Thunder Wave and Eerie Impulse. But Sarina can stop all that. Of course, Sarina cannot stop Electro Web, so that's something. Do have a tool into Kyogre. I think I do lead Thundurus. With what? Landorus? I can consider a Terra Flying Terra Blast into Sarina, maybe. I'll bring Kangaskhan and I kind of want to bring Heatran to make sure I get its damage, but it's tough to use in this matchup, especially if I'm thinking I might Terrestrialize Landorus. I could bring a Moongus. That can help keep Kangaskhan alive. Cresselia also could do that, but we're going with the Moongus. Okay, everybody gets intimidated. Not ideal. I think I'm just going to go Electro Web and pivot Landorus out to a Moongus. I can bring Landorus back in after that if I want. As much as I'd like to just Terra Blast the Sarina, I don't think that's the move right now. Especially with the Fake Out. Being threatened, obviously, by Incineroar. Triple Axle into a Moongus. That's actually good, I think, because it gives me Rocky Helmet damage into Sarina. I didn't even do that much to a Moongus. With all 3 hits, wow. I could switch a Moongus out. Accept the risk that they might go for Triple Axle into it again. Or I could just protect a Moongus this turn. I'm gonna take the risk. Try to get Landorus back in. It would be nice to grab some momentum. We get another Intimidate into Sarina. Do they just go for Triple Axle again? I missed the Electro Web. Triple Axle into Thundurus. Okay, so I got Landorus in safely. I still like just spamming Electro Web because it's hard for them to safely switch anything into that. And I don't even have to Terrestrialize, do I? I can just U-turn Sarina. Oh, it's Kyogre. Okay. Maybe I would have liked to Terra Blast that. I missed the Electro Web again. Unreal. I'll go straight to Kangaskhan and turn their rain off. Why not? Parting Shot into Thundurus. That's fine. I get Single Strike Urshifu. Haven't seen that in a while. If they switch to Sarina, this won't work, but I'm down to try to Thunder Wave Kyogre. And just go for a Collision Course into Urshifu. Maybe Eerie Impulse would be better into Kyogre here. It's Incineroar anyway, so the Thunder Wave is going to fail. But Clear Amulet stops their Intimidate. And Thundurus avoids a Sucker Punch, which was something I had in the back of my head there. I'll go out to Landorus here. And Flame Charge Urshifu. Maybe I should have thought twice about the Fake Out possibility. Yeah. I did kind of let them just have that close combat there. That's not great. But now I think I have a pretty safe Earthquake with Landorus. Protect Kangaskhan. I don't really need the speed boost. This should knock out Incineroar and chip Kyogre pretty nicely. And now we're seeing how strong Chalk can be, right? Like, I'm pivoting these Pokemon around, and I'm getting decent positions to make some plays. And yes, they have Kyogre in, but they didn't bring Whimsicott to this game, so they have no Tailwind. Do I have any reason to think it's a Scarf Kyogre? It might have even protected already for all I remember. No, I haven't seen what it can do. I don't think it's Scarf on this team. I think Koraidon is going to outspeed it. Terra Water. Might be Scarf Kyogre, but the Origin Pulse misses Kangaskhan. Unfortunately, it does KO Landorus. I can get a Moongus in here, though. I can't Rage Powder the Sarina, but I can Rage Powder the Urshifu, and I can Terra Fire Collision Course. Just be extra safe. And Urshifu is not winning this one by itself at this point, so they forfeit. Nice. And that's the power of Chalk right there. I can see why this was so good back in 2015 when power creep was not as crazy. This person doesn't have a restricted Pokemon. They do have a Dondozo without Tatsugiri. There's a lot of weird stuff going on this team. Do I have a good angle to attack? I mean, Kangaskhan is pretty strong into this, of course. I could do Kangaskhan Cresselia, Kangaskhan Heatran, Kangaskhan Thundurus might be good because of the Dondozo, Kangaskhan Amoonguss. I have to watch out for the Hatterene in particular, trying to set Trick Room because I can't Spore that. I could Flare Blitz it though. Alright, let's do Kangaskhan Thundurus, Amoonguss. Landorus? Heatran? Let's do Heatran. Okay, they could set screens here, but unless it's Terra Ghost or Ursaluna, which it actually could be. Does Eerie Impulse work on ground types? I don't remember. Okay, well why don't I just Collision Course into Ursaluna? They could also have Fake Out. Let's protect this turn and see what they do. If it's Terra Ghost Ursaluna, then it doesn't take anything from Collision Course, but if it's something else, it takes a lot. Or I could Eerie Impulse it if it turns into a Ghost type. I don't remember whether Eerie Impulse works on ground types. In any case, they go Moonblast there. So just to be safe, I'm going to Terrastalize right now. Throw a Collision Course at this Ursaluna. And I'll Eerie Impulse. This will be good to learn at least, as it confirmed does work on ground types. Okay. And I'll Flame Charge Ursaluna here and switch Thundurus out to Heatran. Pretty free switch. Not ideal if Heatran takes a Spirit Break because of the special attack drop, but if that doesn't happen, I get a lot of offensive pressure out of this switch. Yep, get Heatran in, knock out Ursaluna. Throat Chop Grimmsnarl, okay. Well, that didn't do too much. Who's coming in now? Hatterene? I could Flash Cannon this, I just have to think about whether it's going to Terrastalize. If it Terrastalizes, then... you know what, I mean, Flame Charge into it is... I think Flame Charge Heat Wave is fine either way, unless it's Terra Water. But if it is, we'll live with that. I could miss Heat Wave, but I don't. And Kangaskhan takes that Throat Chop. Clutch Survival there. This could be Bullet Punch Metagross, so I'm going to cover for that with this Protect and Heat Wave. By the way, this Koraidon nickname would also be illegal at a major tournament, but I guess Showdown hasn't implemented every common abbreviation, and I wouldn't necessarily expect them to. But just be aware. That's not some slick workaround. Okay, Terrapagos Regieleki. This one could be Specs Terrapagos, although they have Amoonguss, they have probably Follow Me on the Ogre Pawn. It could be Calm Mind. Regieleki could even set screens. What do I have for this? Not much, huh? Well, no, I have Kangaskhan and Thundurus. That's actually not a bad duo into this, I think. Can potentially get an Eerie Impulse into the Terrapagos, try to land a Collision Course. I'll bring Cresselia, I think. Heatran, Cresselia. Heatran's good into some of these. Let's bring Heatran and Cresselia. I was thinking about Amoonguss, but I don't think I have room for it here. They lead Regieleki Terrapagos, so there could be some screens coming out here. I don't know. I kind of want to just throw off a Collision Course. I guess the risk is that like it's Terra Ice Regieleki and it attacks with Terra Blast, but I don't think that's the most likely thing here. Oh, but Terra Shell though. Alright. In that case, let's Flame Charge Terapagos and Eerie Impulse Terapagos. Just to make it harder for it to get set up. They have Eerie Impulse too. For some reason, they went forward into Kangaskhan, but it's just blocked by the Clear Amulet. Terra Starstorm crits! I swear to you, I was beginning to say Terra Starstorm doesn't do very much. Those were the words preparing to come out of my mouth there. And, yeah, instead, now I'm in danger of losing my Kangaskhan here. Let's try to claw it back. Do you think I can get my collision course off now? +1, -1. Yeah. Well, I can get a collision course. The problem is they might protect Terapagos. Oh well. YOLO it, and that much works out at least. We'll see how that crit affects the rest of this game. Regieleki is nice and slow, though. I guess I'll bring Heatran in here, except I guess I won't because they forfeited immediately after I knocked out the Terapagos that they didn't exactly try very hard to protect. Okay, well, we take those. A Terra Starstorm crit really scared me for a moment there. Alright, this looks like some Michael Kelch stuff. So I know this team is good, even though I don't necessarily know how to use it very well. Well, hey, the old, well-rounded, balancey stuff versus the new. I got that backwards, but no need to call me out on it. Okay, I mean, I like Heatran into this, for sure, except with the Pelipper, but of course I can turn the weather around with Kangaskhan. I could do Heatran, Thundurus, Kangaskhan, and Landorus actually is not that bad into the Zamazenta. It is kind of bad into a lot of the rest of the team, though. I could just bring Cresselia, try to keep Heatran healthy. Or I could bring a Moongus. The redirection option. Moongus kind of gets sniped by the Latios and the flying types. I'll bring Cresselia, but I'm not exactly sure what its role is in this game. Okay, they lead Moltres, Latios. Not the best situation for Heatran here. I could just Terra Fairy immediately, though. I don't hate that. I kind of figured I was probably clicking that in this game. Let's see what I can do with a Heat Wave. And I can Eerie Impulse Latios, or I can Electro Web. Maybe we think about Electro Web next turn. They show the Terra Dark on the Moltres immediately. Going for a big Fiery Wrath. It does knock out Thundurus, so no Electro Web for me, but of course it doesn't do too much to Heatran. And I think I can get Kangaskhan in pretty safely now. Of course, this does open up the possibility of their Pelipper causing me some trouble. And also, Kangaskhan doesn't really have an attack into Latios, but what it can do is Collision Course into Moltres. So I'll Flash Cannon Latios, and I mean, they'll probably switch something in here, maybe Pelipper, and then I'm not really sure how I play that position. Yeah, there's the Pelipper. Are they letting me have the Moltres, though? They are. Okay. But that does mean that they get to turn off the special attack drop into Latios. And they have weather control for at least one more turn. Qian Pao is not what I was expecting to see here. I guess it is pretty dangerous, though. For now, I think I'll protect and switch Kangaskhan out for Cresselia. Cresselia takes a big Icicle Crash. Maybe I could have safely attacked Qian Pao there. Maybe. Let me get my weather back up. That does a lot of damage. And unfortunately I don't have Flash Fire on this Heatran. Maybe I should, but I thought Flame Body might be reasonably likely to come up with all the dangerous physical hits in this metagame. But yeah, maybe Flash Fire would be better. It definitely would have gotten Heatran through this turn at least, and then I would have broken Qian Pao's Sash. As it is, the opponent has weather control if they want it. I'm going to go for an Icy Wind to try to catch Latios on the switch, and I might as well just Collision Course this Qian Pao. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a Dragon Attack on Koraidon. That's another thing that might have been worth... Excuse me, on Kangaskhan. That's another thing that might have been worthwhile. I believe Kangaskhan does learn Outrage after all. Try Icy Wind again. If I get the attack off, I can break this Focus Sash. And let's just see what a Collision Course does to Latios. Or Pelipper on the switch in, if that's how they play this. Nope, they just Icicle Crash right into Kangaskhan and knock it out. Fair enough. Alright, so... Well, I keep talking about power creep. Go figure, the new fashioned teams still showing some advantages over the old fashioned ones. Maybe they'll miss an Icicle Crash and I can at least knock Latios out. Nope. Okay, well. Got another one. White Kyurem. Okay. There's a restricted Pokemon that I don't think I've seen yet in this second round of Regulation G. With Abomasnow. Well, I mean, I like my weather matchup into theirs, probably. Heatran is pretty decent here. I can terrestrialize it around the fighting weakness. But I don't necessarily want to, at least right away. I could lead Heatran Landorus. Threaten Terra Blast into the Urshifu if they lead with that. Landorus is vulnerable to their ice coverage, but Heatran takes advantage of that. And then I have Kangaskhan in the back, and what do I want last? Honestly, Thundurus is probably not bad here with the Eerie Impulse. Yeah, I'll bring Thundurus. Should I be leading Thundurus instead of Landorus? I don't know. I'm just worried about the possible Urshifu lead. Want to get the jump on that if it comes out. But instead it's Tornadus, Abomasnow. So this is the kind of thing that I was hoping to catch with Heatran here. Eject Pack. Oh, this is an incorrect interaction on Showdown, right? I've heard about this. On the cartridge, Snow Warning would activate before the Eject Pack, but on Showdown it doesn't. That's pretty unfortunate. Let's just see if some kind of Terra comes out from this Kyurem. I'll go Thundurus so that if it survives the turn, I can threaten Eerie Impulse next turn. They go straight for Snowscape with the Tornadus. Okay, that makes sense. But that means only one attack goes into Thundurus, so it does survive the turn with its Focus Sash. And I'm going to go Heat Wave because I think the Kyurem might protect. But I will try to land an Eerie Impulse into Kyurem as well. Or... yeah, that is what I'll do. Okay, it does protect. They can knock Thundurus out now if they want. They go for Tailwind instead. I still have the Eerie Impulse available. And this time I think I'll go for a Flash Cannon into the Kyurem slot. Might catch Abomasnow on the switch, or somebody else. That's still not the worst thing. And Tornadus is at least not much of an offensive threat to Heatran. Although I do have to take that Pokemon somewhat seriously. Actually, maybe I'll... oh, well, I missed the chance to cancel. I was thinking about switching to Heat Wave after all. They have Earth Power, and they stop the Eerie Impulse with the Psychic Terrain. So, fair enough, they got me with that one. I could go Kangaskhan, Terrifier, Collision Course. Not sure how I would beat Indeedee after that. They might see that one coming anyway, but I'm down to try it. Of course, they also can switch Abomasnow in now and get their snow back up immediately. And I'm probably never switching Kangaskhan out again in this whole game, but I'll just protect Thundurus to keep my Pokemon count up for now. If I can get through their Tailwind, maybe I can do something, except then they have Tornadus in the back so they can set Tailwind back up. I guess I needed to cover for that Earth Power better than I did. I focused on clicking the Eerie Impulse into Kyurem, but I forgot that they had a way to stop that still. Terra Psychic Indeedee, that's going to do a lot of damage with Expanding Force. Yeah, that two shots Kangaskhan. Not that they need it to, because they anticipate the Terra Fire, admittedly pretty obvious, and they just Earth Power. And now I have my Assault Vest Landorus here. I'll just Rock Slide. And Electro Web. Not much else I can do here. And Kyurem is going to end this in style with a Blizzard. So, White Kyurem, that's what, like... When did Black and White 2 come out? That's a little bit older than Chalk. So, in the end, I think this classic Chalk composition did give the new metagame a run for its money, but... Yeah, this opponent went even older with the Snow duo of Abomasnow and White Kyurem, and just completely overwhelmed my team here. And that was, you know... a little bit of an attempt to look back at VGC history, even before my time. Even though I started playing in 2020, I still feel like I'm a brand new player, but I guess I'm really not anymore. That's like 5 years ago. Pretty soon I'll be at 6. But, yeah, I like to look back at VGC history, and so giving Chalk a try was definitely something on my radar with the return of Reg G, bringing all of the necessary Pokemon back into the game. But... I don't know what's going to be next after this video. Probably something a bit more up-to-date. Hope you'll stick around as we move from the past to the present and see what we can do into the future.